Hi, my name is Ashley Ellers, and I am the Director of Outcomes and Training here at Bierman. I'm going to be talking about sleep routines and some tips and tricks for getting your kiddo to sleep at home. All right, so first I just wanted to kind of touch base on some challenges you might be facing at home. Um, you know, you might be experiencing one of these, more than one of these, a version of some of this. And so some common nighttime challenges might be, first just like avoiding getting into bed altogether. It's time to go to sleep, it's time to lay down, and you're experiencing some avoidance behaviors. You might also be experiencing your child crying and calling out a lot once they are in bed. They might be having a lot of extra requests after the lights go out. Plenty of things that they maybe could have asked for earlier, but now that the lights are out and it's bedtime, they become extra important to request. They might be getting up and playing with toys in their room or trying to get up and leave the room after the parent puts them down. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is setting yourself up for success. There are some things you can do before even thinking about nighttime or bedtime routines that will help set you up for success for making the whole process go a little bit smoother, hopefully. One is having those high stimulation activities occur, before the whole bedtime routine even starts. So these are going to be things that involve lots of like gross motor movements, things that'll get the heart pumping a little bit, just get the energy up. But it also could be things that maybe aren't physically full of movement, but gets your child like really excited. So there might be like a certain video, even though they're sitting and watching, it kind of gets their wheels turning, gets them really pumped. Or maybe playing with cars is their like most preferred activity, and so that gets them really kind of excited. And so you want to make sure that they can still obviously play with those things. It's just not like the very last thing they do before they lay down and go to sleep. Another thing to do is providing non-contingent access before bedtime to those things that your child is frequently requesting after bedtime. So if there's something that your child frequently requests after they lay down, so maybe they want to talk or they want a hug or they need their favorite stuffed animal, one kind of common intervention really for lots of different scenarios is to provide access to that thing before they want it. And so this way it'll kind of get them full of, whatever they're looking for, whether it's like social attention or access to a certain item. And this will help decrease their motivation for it once they lay down to go to sleep. Next is creating positive routines and trying to make getting ready for bed fun. So anything you can do to make it more fun, more enjoyable, it's just going to make your life easier to get the whole process going. And then positive routines. So making it, it doesn't have to be crazy fun, just positive and a routine that is like easy and simple to follow. Because anything that you repeat over and over, it's just going to get easier to do. It's going to be easier to start the routine, to go through the steps. So keeping it as consistent as possible is helpful. And then another thing that might be helpful for some kids is maybe together doing the cleanup game. If their activity or, their challenges, maybe they keep wanting to play with things once they lay down, together doing the cleanup game and kind of putting all the toys to bed, getting them ready for sleep for their nighttime might be beneficial to you. So, doing that together and then showing your kiddo like, oh, they're going to bed too. Everyone's going to sleep right now. We can't play with them. They're sleeping. Might be helpful. Okay, so I created just a simple example of the bedtime routine. This is just one example. This doesn't have to be, kind of what you do at home, but I think the important part is to pick a routine that has a couple steps that's going to be easy to follow. So for this one, it's, brushing teeth, putting on pajamas, then we get into bed, maybe read or look at a book, then lights out and say goodnight. It's just important to keep it, fairly simple and easily repeatable. So the most, I think, important part is, just doing something that you're going to be able to repeat and stick to. going to be important. The other thing about having a routine of a couple steps is that it gives your child time to transition from that like fun, really energetic, time that they're having to, okay, now it's time to lay down, relax, and go to sleep. It's helpful to not have it be like a switch of like, okay, we're done playing now, lay in bed and go to sleep. Having a couple activities that kind of help set the mood, have a routine, can give them extra time to kind of wind down from higher energy to more relaxed and ready to go to sleep. Another thing that can be really important is signaling sleep for them in their environment. So these are just a couple things you can do in their bedroom to help signal that it's time for sleep. If you think about it, they might be in their room different parts of the day doing lots of different things, playing, getting dressed, drawing, but now it's time to go to sleep. And so having some visual cues to show them like, okay, all that stuff is done. Now this is we're having a different experience in the same room. It's now time for sleep. So things like making sure it's dimly lit, maybe taking out a special stuffed animal that they sleep with, or putting that stuffed animal, putting it under the covers, getting ready. Cool temperature is always helpful. And then maybe parent presence. Maybe your kiddo, goes to sleep with you in the room for a couple minutes. So kind of setting all the conditions to show like, okay, now we've transitioned to time for sleep, and kind of getting all the pieces aligned is helpful. And as I've mentioned, consistency is key. So whatever you pick is fine. I think the important part is just to have a consistent way to signal that we've now transitioned to nighttime and it's time to go to bed. All right, so how to respond to those inevitable challenges. So I would say the main three things are to stay neutral, gently guide your child back to bed, and ignore what you can. It's not going to be perfect every time, of course, but I would say try to keep those three things in mind as much as possible. Providing as little attention as possible is going to be key. Now, I don't know what your particular challenges with your child. It might be that they just want attention. So they're always asking questions and getting up, or maybe they're looking to play with a certain toy or do a certain activity. Either way, though, providing as little attention as possible when you respond is going to be helpful, because either you're not providing that extra attention that they want, or you're still not letting them engage in that high energy activity, but you're not throwing additional, high energy attention on it as well, which is helpful. So, when you're bringing them back to their room, you're not answering a lot of questions. You're not talking a lot about why they can't do this or that or this. A little attention as possible is helpful. And then you want to get them to return to the bedroom and those sleep signals as soon as possible. So again, maybe they've left the room and now they're out in a different part of the house where the lights are on, maybe the TV's on, there's just like more stimulation. You want to bring them back to that room, bring them back to all those signals that indicate, oh wait, now we're relaxing, we're laying down, we're going to sleep. As I mentioned a lot, consistent responding is going to be key. So whatever you take from this, whatever you want to try, the important part is to do it as consistently as possible for several days. Behavior change is really cool, but it does, take a few days of consistent intervention to see some changes. And then just always know, new behaviors may crop up. This happens all the time in a lot of scenarios. Your kiddo might be doing certain, some of these nighttime behaviors to get attention maybe. And now they're finding that those typical things they're doing are not getting them what they want. So they're going to go into their toolbox and pull out some new and different things maybe to get what they're looking for. So just, keeping in mind that new things are going to crop up and that's going to be okay. That doesn't mean it isn't working. It often means that it is working. So just keep remaining consistent. Okay, and then the last thing I want to talk about is the Bedtime Pass. And so I just wanted to put a little spotlight on this intervention. It's a pretty simple one that lots of kids have benefited from. Now, it might not be appropriate for every child, but I thought it was a good thing to highlight. So it's called the Bedtime Pass. And so you'll start with, a pass with your child's name. They can decorate it if they want, make it look however you want it to look. But the important part is that they get this pass every night, and it's exchangeable for one excused visit or request. So that means once they do lay down, they're allowed to get up within reason, for a particular reason. They get one, approved outing almost. And so this could be things like, getting water, maybe they have to go to the bathroom, or they want an extra hug, or they have an additional question. So those are going to be things that you can allow. Now there's certain requests that, you're not going to allow, things like, I don't know, jumping on the trampoline at home, or, going to watch a video, but within reason, you can allow certain things. Now, the important part is that it's a one-time use per night. So after they use that pass, they have to present it to you and ask whatever they're asking. Then they surrender that pass. They don't get it back. They only get to use it one time per night. And this is something that you can discuss with them ahead of time and kind of review the rules. And then, after they surrender that pass, any other requests or questions are not honored. You just gently remind them you've already used your pass and return them to their room. Now, this can be a really beneficial intervention because it kind of sets the contingency up with your child. You kind of review the rules, that they get this one freebie. And then something that can be really hard for kids is, the behavior, or really any of us, the behavior that we were doing was getting us something, getting us more attention, getting access to something, and to go, sort of cold turkey and not get access to it at all can be hard, and that can make things more challenging for a few days. And so this is a way to sort of mitigate some of those effects, where you're still going to deny most things, but you're giving them one freebie. And so you're still providing a little bit of access or a little bit of attention, but it's in a more controlled manner before denying the rest. And so sometimes allowing kids just to have a little bit of control that way can be really helpful and kind of make the process go a lot smoother. So that's it for me. There's just some quick tips and ideas of things that maybe can make nighttime go a little bit more smoothly for you guys. But if you have any specific questions to your kiddo, or things that you're struggling with at home, feel free to reach out to your your child's BCBA, and they should be able to help you come up with a more specific plan. But I hope you all are doing well. All right, thank you.